Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurudevo Maheshwaraha, Gurureva Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Chinmayam Vyapyat Sarvam Trailokyam Sacharacharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Tvameva Mata cha Pita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Vidyanradikam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hello.
Hi.
So where are we in our text?
Starting chapter 24.
How far through the text are we now?
Like a sixth of the way.
Oh, not very far at all then. Okay.
24. God is the all-doer, the Jnani a non-doer. God is the all-doer, the Jnani is a non-doer. God himself does not say, I am doing all. To him, things happen by their own nature. To the Jnani, all is done by God. He sees no difference between God and nature. Questioner. Some Mahatmas, enlightened beings, maintain that the world is neither an accident nor the play of God, but the result and expression of a mighty plan of work aimed at awakening and developing consciousness throughout the universe. From lifelessness to life, from unconsciousness to consciousness.
So let me stop there. The reference, I'm pretty sure, is to Sri Aurobindo, who had these ideas of cosmic unfoldment. I am not well versed in his writings, so I can't speak to them. Going on.
From dullness to bright intelligence, from misapprehension to clarity. That is the direction in which the world moves ceaselessly and relentlessly. Of course, there are moments of rest and apparent darkness when the universe seems to be dormant. But the rest comes to an end, and the work on consciousness is resumed. From our point of view, the world is a valley of tears, a place to escape from as soon as possible, and by every possible means. To enlightened beings, the world is good, and it serves a good purpose. They do not deny that the world is a mental structure, and that ultimately all is one, but they see and say that the structure has meaning and serves a supremely desirable purpose. What we call the will of God is not the capricious whim of a playful deity, but the expression of an absolute necessity to grow in love and wisdom and power, to actualize the infinite potentials of life and consciousness. Just as a gardener grows his flowers from a tiny seed to glorious perfection, so does God in his own garden grow, among other things, men to supermen who know and love and work along with him. When God takes rest, pralaya, Those whose growth was not completed become unconscious for a time.
This is all the question.
This is all the questioner.
He's
Mhm.
he's lecturing Bhagawan. Okay. Very funny.
Those whose growth was not completed become unconscious for a time, while the perfect ones who have gone beyond all forms and contents of consciousness remain aware of the universal silence. When the time comes for the emergence of a new universe, the sleepers wake up and their work starts. The more advanced wake up first and prepare the ground for the less advanced, who thus find forms and patterns of behavior suitable for their further growth. Thus runs the story. The difference with your teaching is this. You insist that the world is no good and should be shunned. They say that distaste for the world is a passing stage, necessary yet temporary, and is soon replaced by an all-pervading love and a steady will to work with God. Maharaj, all you say is right for the outgoing pravritti path. For the path of return, nivritti, negating oneself is necessary. My stand I take where nothing but Amakash is. Words do not reach there, nor thoughts. To the mind, it is all darkness and silence. Then consciousness begins to stir and wakes up the mind, Chidakash, which projects the world, Mahadakash, built of memory and imagination. Once the world comes into being, all you say may be so. It is in the nature of the mind to imagine goals, to strive towards them, to seek out means and ways, to display vision, energy, and courage. These are divine attributes, and I do not deny them. But I take my stand where no difference exists, where things are not, nor the minds that create them. There I am at home. Whatever happens does not affect me. Things act on things, that is all. Free from memory and expectation, I am fresh, innocent, and wholehearted. Mind is the great worker, Mahakarta, and it needs rest. Needing nothing, I am unafraid. Whom should I be afraid of? There is no separation. We are not separate selves. There is only one self, the supreme reality, in which the personal and the impersonal are one. Questioner, all I want is to be able to help the world. Maharaj, who says you cannot help? You made up your mind about what help means and needs and got yourself into a conflict between what you should and what you can do, between necessity and ability. Questioner, but why do we do so? Maharaj, your mind projects a structure and you identify yourself with it. It is in the nature of desire to prompt the mind to create a world for its fulfillment. Even a small desire can start a long line of action. What about a strong desire? Desire can produce a universe. Its powers are miraculous. Just as a small matchstick can set a huge forest on fire, so does a desire light the fires of manifestation. The very purpose of creation is the fulfillment of desire. The desire may be noble or ignoble. Space, Akash, is very neutral. One can fill it with what one likes. You must be very careful as to what you desire. And as to the people you want to help, they are in their respective worlds for the sake of their desires. There is no way of helping them except through their desires. You can only teach them to have right desires so that they may rise above them and be free from the urge to create and recreate worlds of desire, abodes of pain and pleasure. Questioner, a day must come when the show is wound up. A man must die. A universe must come to an end. Maharaj, just as a sleeping man forgets all and wakes up for another day, or he dies and emerges into another life, so do the worlds of desire and fear dissolve and disappear. But the eternal witness, the Supreme Self, never sleeps and never dies. Eternally, the great heart beats, and at each beat, a new universe comes into being.
So, what Maharaj is doing here is really keep it simple. You know, do we attribute some sort of cosmic purpose to God or not? My view is that's way above my pay grade. I think the simple thing that he's driving at is stay identified with yourself. The mark of the jnani is they have given up struggle. Kartavya. I'll be happy when, it'll be better if. Even the noble struggle. Oh, the world is suffering so badly. It's part of my job to fix it. If it's part of your job to fix it, that will come through you. We have work, but we don't have efforts. There's a difference. It's a very subtle difference, but a big one. Efforting is my happiness, my well-being is dependent on the outcome of this activity. Now, in the great cosmic play, some of us have leading roles. Others of us have a bit part. Some of us are just supernumeraries. We just stand on stage and look pretty. But peace comes from being content. Santosha. King Janaka, on one hand, active in the world, Swamiji active in the world, Ramana Maharshi completely withdrawn from the world. Ananda Mahima could barely see the world. All that is karmic. I have a student who's a Meher Baba devotee. And we were reading some of Meher Baba's stuff. Oh, it's so complicated. Does not appeal to my mind. But each person finds their way. Not Rishabhava if you want something complicated. Sarva Maya, Sarva Ma'ana. It's all Maya. And then it's all this. Brahma Satyam Jagat Nitya. Going on.
Let's see. Oh,
Is he
Questioner.
conscious?
questioner, is he conscious? Maharaj, he is beyond all that the mind conceives. He is beyond being and not being. He is the yes and no to everything, beyond and within, creating and destroying, unimaginably real. Questioner, God and the Mahatma, are they one or two? Maharaj, they are one. Questioner, there must be some difference. Maharaj, God is the all-doer. The Jnani is a non-doer. God himself does not say, I am doing all. To him, things happen by their own nature. To the Jnani, all is done by God. He sees no difference between God and nature. Both God and the Jnani know themselves to be the immovable center of the movable, the eternal witness of the transient. The center is a point of void, and the witness a point of pure awareness. They know themselves to be nothing, therefore nothing can resist them. Questioner: how does this look and feel in your personal experience? Maharaj: being nothing, I am all. Everything is me, everything is mine. Just as my body moves by my mere thinking of the movement, so do things happen as I think of them. Mind you, I do nothing. I just see them happen. Questioner: do things happen as you want them to happen, or do you want them to happen as they happen? Maharaj: both. I accept and am accepted. I am all, and all is me. Being the world, I am not afraid of the world. Being all, what am I to be afraid of? Water is not afraid of water, nor fire of fire. Also, I am not afraid because I am nothing that can experience fear or can be in danger. I have no shape or name. It is attachment to a name and shape that breeds fear. I am not attached. I am nothing, and nothing is afraid of no thing.
So, very important. Make sure you don't think you are a realized person. Make sure you don't devolve into narcissism. It's all about me, the ego. It's very different than being all about me. No personal sense of self is real. And all personal senses of self are in me. Going on.
On the contrary, everything is afraid of the nothing. For when a thing touches nothing, it becomes nothing. It is like a bottomless well. Whatever falls into it disappears. Questioner: isn't God a person? Maharaj: as long as you think of yourself as a person, he too is a person.
Yes. So this is a very important point. In Gita, Arjuna asks Krishna, which is better, to worship the Lord with a form or to worship the Lord in his formless nature? And Krishna's answer is very clear but veiled. He says both paths are there and they're both good. But worshiping the Lord in his formless nature is very difficult for the embodied. For them, it's better to worship the Lord with a form. This is the verse from which all the dualistic devotional paths derive. The only thing you need to know about God is you're not it. Worship God, surrender to God, give everything to God, let go of everything, give it to God. Now, when he says embodied, what it means is ego identified. when through practice we've seen the fundamental unreality of a personal sense of self, then God as the divine other disappears too. Advaita, not to. But the person who maintains the reality of their ego, I'm a person, I'm struggling, but there's no God out there to help me, is the greatest of fools. Because what are you left with? Your stupid little puny ego, which doesn't have a whole lot of power. Try walking to the shore and making the waves stop coming in. And turn around and I do this and I've accomplished that. Blah, blah, blah. But in order to live from that place of the intuition, we have to silence the raga and the devesha that scream in our minds. Must have it this way, I'll never have it that way. Many people read these deep teachings of it's all God, God is the agent, and they confuse the indulgent tendency of the mind. I call it the inner 2-year-old with the deep intuition. In a sense, of course, it's all God. 2-year-old's God too. But I want ice cream. I don't want to eat my broccoli. That's not the deep part of the mind where you become the hand of God. All that needs to be quiet. No investment in the outcome, no desire. Then activity can move through you without any impediment. Otherwise, we go to a place where we rationalize bad behavior. We start yelling at people. Oh, it's just God coming through me. I'm just being natural. Hurt people, become selfish and self-centered. That's not the goal of the spiritual life. It's not how we see the real Mahatma being. Any thoughts on this? Going on.
Yeah. So Maharaj, as long as you think of yourself as a person, he too is a person. When you are all, you see him as all. Questioner, can I change facts by changing my attitude? Maharaj, the attitude is the fact. Take anger. I may be furious, pacing up and down the room. At the same time, I know what I am, a center of wisdom and love, an atom of pure existence. All subsides and the mind merges into silence. Questioner, still, you are angry sometimes. Maharaj, with whom am I to be angry and for what? Anger came and dissolved on my remembering myself. It is all a play of the gunas, qualities of cosmic matter. When I identify myself with them, I am their slave. When I stand apart, I am their master. Questioner. Can you influence the world by your attitude? By separating yourself from the world, you lose all hope of helping it. Maharaj. How can it be? All is myself. Can't I help myself? I do not identify myself with any body in particular, for I am all, both the particular and the universal. Questioner. Can you then help me, the particular person? Maharaj. But I do help you always, from within.
Yes.
Myself.
So, by grace, we have Guru Kripa. Kripa means grace. Because Guru is a principle, not necessarily a person. It may operate through anybody. But we invoke grace by our openness, by our surrender. Why, in many ways, the most powerful of all prayers is help. I can't, he can. Ishvara Kripa, Guru Kripa, they're not in the end any different. God's grace, the Guru's grace. And much of the work that the Guru does is in silence and on the inner planes. It's not just the blah, blah, blah teaching. Well, let's say, going.
But I do help you always, from within. Myself and yourself are one. I know it, but you don't. That is all the difference, and it cannot last. Questioner. And how do you help the entire world? Maharaj. Gandhi is dead, yet his mind pervades the earth. The thought of a Jnani pervades humanity and works ceaselessly for good. Being anonymous, coming from within, it is all the more powerful and compelling. That is how the world improves, the inner aiding and blessing the outer. When a Jnani dies, he is no more in the same sense in which a river is no more when it merges in the sea. The name and the shape are no more, but the water remains and becomes one with the ocean. When a Jnani joins the universal mind, all his goodness and wisdom become the heritage of humanity and uplift every human being. Questioner. We are attached to our personality, our individuality, our being unlike others, we value very much. You seem to denounce both as useless. You're unmanifested. Of what use is it to us? Maharaj. Unmanifested, manifested, individuality, personality, nirguna, saguna, vyakta, vyakti. All these are mere words, points of views, mental attitudes. There is no reality in them. The real is experienced in silence. You cling to personality, but you are conscious of being a person only when you are in trouble. When you are not in trouble, you do not think of yourself. Questioner. You did not tell me the uses of the unmanifested. Maharaj. Surely you must sleep in order to wake up. You must die in order to live. You must melt down to shape anew. You must destroy to build, annihilate before creation. The Supreme is the universal solvent. It corrodes every container. It burns through every obstacle. Without the absolute denial of everything, the tyranny of things would be absolute. The Supreme is the great harmonizer, the guarantee of the ultimate and perfect balance, of life and freedom. It dissolves you, and thus reasserts your true being. Questioner: it is all well on its own level, but how does it work in daily life? Maharaj: the daily life is a life of action. Whether you like it or not, you must function. Whatever you do for your own sake accumulates and becomes explosive. One day it goes off and plays havoc with you and your world. When you deceive yourself that you work for the good of all, it makes matters worse, for you should not be guided by your own ideas of what is good for others. A man who claims to know what is good for others is dangerous. Questioner: how is one to work then? Maharaj: neither for yourself nor for others, but for the work's own sake. A thing worth doing is its own purpose and meaning. Make nothing a means to something else. Bind not. God does not create one thing to serve another. Each is made for its own sake. Because it is made for itself, it does not interfere. You are using things and people for purposes alien to them, and you play havoc with the world and yourself.
So, very practically speaking, if you've got a partner and you've been together for any length of time, how successful have you been in fixing them? Do I hear laughs over there? Not very. What? Not very. Doesn't work very much at all, does it? So, what do you eventually learn in a relationship?
To accept them as they are.
Tolerance. The paradox is when we stop controlling, fighting, space opens for things to move and change. Have you ever had that experience? You've got something, I really want it this way, and you, and there's pushback from your partner. And then you finally, the pain is too much, you let go. And then there's space. And then all of a sudden solutions start to emerge. Who's had that experience?
Mhm.
It's like stopping the struggle.
Going on.
Questioner: our real being is all the time with us, you say. How is it that we do not notice it? Maharaj: yes, you are always the Supreme, but your attention is fixed on things, physical or mental. When your attention is off of a thing and not yet fixed on another, in the interval you are pure being. When through the practice of discrimination and detachment, viveka vairagya, you lose sight of sensory and mental states, pure being emerges as the natural state.
Yeah. So do we need to redefine viveka and vairagya? Viveka, discrimination, that firm conviction in the intellect that Brahman alone is real and the phenomenal world is unreal, mithya, is called discrimination by the wise. Vairagya, a desire. It's a desire that is desire. To give up attachment to all experiences gained through the senses, without exception. And all personal notions of self, starting with the body up to and including the form of Brahma, the creator, meaning I'm powerful or I'm enlightened, I'm special. This is Vairagya, the supreme detachment. That's the essence of Vedanta practice. When we go to Viveka Chudamani, we have the Adhikari section, qualifications of a fit student. Frequently, when Shankara makes a list, the first one is always the most important, and it's in a descending order. They're all important, but he puts the most important at the top of the list. First two, Viveka, Vairagya. Going on.
Questioner, how does one bring to an end this sense of separateness? Maharaj, by focusing the mind on I am, on the sense of being, I am so and so dissolves. I am a witness only remains, and that too submerges in I am all. Then the all becomes the one, and the one, yourself, not to be separate from me. Abandon the idea of a separate I, and the question of whose experience will not arise. Questioner, you speak from your own experience. How can I make it mine? Maharaj, you speak of my experience as different from your experience because you believe we are separate, but we are not. On a deeper level, my experience is your experience. Dive deep within yourself, and you will find it easily and simply.
Yeah.
Go in the direction of I am.
So, our phenomenal experiences are different. Our bodies are different. Our feelings are different. Our thoughts are different. But the awareness that illumines all of that is one. Self in me is not like the self in you. The self in me is the self in you. Whoever you look at, the being peeping out of those eyes. There's a conscious being looking out of there. It's yourself. What is myself? Try doing Viveka Vairagya. See what you see. The space of pure awareness. Going on.
That's the end of the chapter.
It's a good one.
25. Hold on to I am. Self-forgetting is inherent in self-knowing. Consciousness and unconsciousness are two aspects of one life. They coexist. To know the world, you forget the self. To know the self, you forget the world. Cling to one thing that matters. Hold on to I am and let go of all else. This is sadhana. Questioner, are you ever glad or sad? Do you know joy and sorrow? Maharaj, call them as you please. To me they are states of mind only, and I am not the mind. Questioner, is love a state of mind? Maharaj, again, it depends what you mean by love. Desire is, of course, a state of mind, but the realization of unity is beyond mind. To me, nothing exists by itself. All is the self, all is myself. To see myself in everybody and everybody in myself most certainly is love. Questioner: when I see something pleasant, I want it. Who exactly wants it? Is it the self or the mind? Maharaj: the question is wrongly put. There is no who. There is desire, fear, anger, and the mind says, this is mine, this is me, this is mine. There is no thing which could be called me or mine. Desire is a state of the mind, perceived and named by the mind. Without the mind perceiving and naming, where is desire? Questioner: but is there such a thing as perceiving without naming? Maharaj: of course. Naming cannot go beyond the mind, while perceiving is consciousness itself. Questioner:
So we see this in infants. I like to use the example, if you know anybody who's got a newborn and they're in the crib, many people will put a mobile above the crib. And what's the purpose of doing that?
to help them focus.
Why would you need to help a baby focus?
Because they don't know how to distinguish visually, like something.
Who says you're
from other
supposed to focus?
things.
You know, you have to be taught that you're supposed to focus.
Yeah.
You know, we are taught what a thing is, whether it's desirable or undesirable. Newborn babies are not repulsed by poop. It goes in their hair and stuff like that, you know. That's something we're taught. So one can look at the awakened state of mind as a regained innocence. The Master Jesus said, suffer little children to come unto me, for of them is the kingdom of heaven. That's the King James language. Suffer in this context means allow little children to come to me. You know, the parents were keeping their kids back. And she says, no, let them come. Because they have minds free from judgment. Who here maybe has gone to the mirror and said, oh, I'm too fat, or I'm too old, or I don't look pretty or handsome anymore? Anybody done that? Have you ever seen an infant not love their mother, no matter what she looks like? Every baby loves their mother. Be she fat, be she gnarly looking, skinny. Mommy's just mommy. We learn these sanskaras. So it's proof in a very ordinary sense that all that's right and wrong, beauty and ugly, just and unjust, it's all just mine. Now understand, at one level it's inescapable. What the yogi wants to do is not believe believe it. We confuse opinion with truth. That's our problem. There's a slogan, an opinion is like your rear end. Everybody has one and they usually stink. Going on.
Questioner. When somebody dies, what exactly happens? Maharaj. Nothing happens. Something becomes nothing. Nothing was, nothing remains. Questioner. Surely there is a difference between the living and the dead. You speak of the living as dead and of the dead as living. Maharaj. Why do you fret at one man dying and care little for the millions dying every day? Entire universes are imploding and exploding every moment. Am I to cry over them? One thing is quite clear to me. All that is, lives and moves and has its being in consciousness. And I am in and beyond that consciousness. I am in it as the witness. I am beyond it as being. Questioner. Surely you care when your child is ill, don't you? Maharaj. I do not get flustered. I just do the needful. I do not worry about the future. A right response to every situation is in my nature. I do not stop to think what I do. I act and move on. Results do not affect me. I do not even care whether they are good or bad. Whatever they are, they are. If they come back to me, I deal with them afresh. Or rather, I happen to deal with them afresh. There is no sense of purpose in my doing anything. Things happen as they happen, not because I make them happen, but because I am that they happen. Oh, but it is because I am that they happen. In reality, nothing ever happens. When the mind is restless, it makes Shiva dance, like the restless waters of the lake make the moon dance. It is all appearance, due to wrong ideas. Questioner. Surely you are aware of many things and behave according to their nature. You treat a child as a child and as an adult as an adult. Maharaj. Just as the taste of salt pervades the great ocean, and every single drop of seawater carries the same flavor, so every experience gives me the touch of reality, the ever-fresh realization of my own being. Questioner. Do I exist in your world as you exist in mine? Maharaj. Of course, you are and I am, but only as points in consciousness. We are nothing apart from consciousness. This must be well grasped. The world hangs on the thread of consciousness. No consciousness, no world. Questioner. There are many points in consciousness. Are there as many worlds? Maharaj. Take dream for an example. In a hospital, there may be many patients, all sleeping, all dreaming, each dreaming his own private personal dream, unrelated, unaffected, but having one single factor in common: illness. Similarly, we have divorced ourselves in our imagination from the real world of common experience and enclosed ourselves in a cloud of personal desires and fears, images and thoughts, ideas and concepts. Questioner. This I can understand. But what is the cause of the tremendous variety of the personal worlds? Maharaj. The variety is not so great. All the dreams are superimposed over a common world. To some extent, they shape and influence each other. The basic unity operates in spite of it all. At the root of it all lies self-forgetfulness, not knowing who I am.
So part of what we do as sadhaks, as mumukshus, as yogis. We make the unconscious conscious. You get to know the fabric of your own mind. Many people think I'm very psychic, but I do know when I know my mind. Minor surface differences, texture of the human mind doesn't change. And there's really only about a half a dozen things the whole mind hangs on. And if you just watch, you'll see. The human condition. This is why there's such value if there's someone in your world that is irksome or you may hate. There's the old slogan, you spot it, you got it. So when have you behaved in a similar way? Maybe not to the same degree. But if you're like everybody else, which I assume you are, you have behaved badly because you're hurt or frightened. In the end, thwarted desire, loss of control. Am I wrong? Welcome to the human condition. Now you understand everybody. They're not evil, they're not bad, they're not stupid. They're hurt and frightened. You and I have been hurt and frightened. You know what it's like. We do stupid things when we're hurt and frightened. The word compassion, con pathos, to feel with another person. That's its etymology. Identification. So we not only are one as the self, but we're one at the level of the mind too. You can't really find a thing called my mind. It doesn't exist. It's just mind. This helps us spontaneously become tolerant, patient, and loving. Not the love of craving. Swamiji used to make a distinction between love and lust. Lust here, as he would use it, did not just mean sexual desire. It's when I want something from another person. Love is genuinely wishing the well-being of the other. Very different. All right, going on.
Questioner, to forget, one must know. Did I know who I am before I forgot it? Maharaj, of course. Self-forgetting is inherent in self-knowing. Consciousness and unconsciousness are two aspects of one life. they coexist. To know the world, you forget yourself. You forget the self. To know the self, you forget the world. What is the world after all? A collection of memories. Cling to one thing that matters. Hold on to I am and let go of all else. This is the sadhana. In realization, there is nothing to hold on to and nothing to forget. Everything is known and nothing is remembered. Questioner, what is the cause of self-forgetting? Maharaj, there is no cause because there is no forgetting. Mental states succeed one another and each obliterates the previous one.
So this is a really important point. Actually, Maya, avidya, never really covers the self. When are you ever not you? Oh, Jim, I was so angry this morning. Blah, 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 blah. Did you disappear? No. Did you exist? Yes. Did you know you were angry? Oh, I was so angry. I am, I know. Did your anger cause your existence to evaporate? You should have seen how angry I was. But I was focused on a mind state. Did not pay attention to Shara. The most miserable of creatures does not doubt their existence. Only Shunyavadins, scholiasts of the void, a particular brand of Buddhists, declare I don't exist. And that's not a direct experience, it's a philosophical position. Do you understand that? Yes, no?
Yes.
Yes.
So if I were to say oddity, 10 minutes ago, you absolutely disappeared for 30 seconds. Did you experience it?
Yes.
No, of course not.
That was the
You'd have to believe me that I saw you evaporate and come back.
yeah.
There's no way to verify your own non-existence.
Yeah.
By definition, you aren't there.
Yeah.
So if you see something disappear and even come back, there must be a witness to that appearance and disappearance. So like Buddhism, we Vedantins say the individual is impermanent, rises and falls, but the ground of being does not. Going on.
There is no cause because there is no forgetting. Mental states succeed one another and each obliterates the previous one. Self-remembering is one mental state and self-forgetting is another. They alternate like day and night. Reality is beyond both. Question.
So the worldly experience lately I've been using. Both of you are wearing pants today. Draw your mind's eye to the experience of the waistband of your trousers on your skin. Are your pants too tight, too loose, or just right? Which?
Too tight.
food. But have you been thinking about it?
No.
No. You may have thought about it when you first put your pants on this morning. Oh dear, these trousers are getting too tight. Time to either buy new pants or go on a diet. But you never stopped having the direct experience. Just now, I brought your mind's attention to that experience. Do you see?
Mhm.
So, two things were happening: direct experience, but there was the forgetting of that direct experience. As you went about your day, you got in the car, you drove over here, yada, yada, yada. I brought your mind back to the direct experience. It did not create, attain, achieve that direct experience. You just became attentive to what's been so since you put your pants on this morning. You see that?
Yes.
So also with the self. The difference is you can take your pants off and put them on. And it is an objectively known experience. But I-ing is eternal, constant, unchanging. You can bring your attention to it, thin the mind, introvert the attentive faculty. What do you see? There's nobody there, and it shines. It's pure awareness, being itself. The body, oh, I get it. And then you get busy with the world. You get in the car, you come to class. But yourself didn't disappear because your mind wasn't paying attention to it. The self is not something that's attained. You don't become it. It's myself. But because my mind doesn't pay attention to it, I have all these stupid assumptions about it. The biggest one is I think I'm my body. When in truth, that's like saying I think I'm a black polo shirt. Obviously not a black polo shirt. I wear a black polo shirt. You're obviously not your body. Either of you have any aches or pains in your body?
Yes.
What hurts? Your neck, your elbow, what?
Oh, my shoulders.
Yeah. Are you not aware of it though?
Yes.
If you were your body, you could not know the pain in your shoulder as an object of cognition. Can you see your eyeballs? No. Your eyeballs are that which see all the other stuff. You're looking at your eyeball, you pop one of them out of your head. Yet you see. Think. Going on. Are we close to the end of this chapter?
No. Questioner. Surely there must be a difference between forgetting and not knowing. Not knowing needs no cause. Forgetting presupposes previous knowledge and also the tendency or ability to forget. I admit I cannot inquire into the reason for not knowing, but forgetting must have some ground. Maharaj, there is no such thing as not knowing. There is only forgetting. What is wrong with forgetting? It is as simple to forget as to remember. Questioner. Is it not a calamity to forget oneself? Maharaj. As bad as to remember oneself continuously. There is a state beyond forgetting and not forgetting, the natural state. To remember, to forget, these are all states of mind, thought-bound, word-bound. Take, for example, the idea of being born. I am told I was born. I do not remember. I am told I shall die. I do not expect it. You tell me I have forgotten or I lack imagination. But I just cannot remember what never happened, nor expect the patently impossible. Bodies are born and bodies die, but what is it to me? Bodies come and go in consciousness, and consciousness itself has its root in me. I am life, and mine are mind and body. Questioner. You say at the root of the world is self-forgetfulness. To forget, I must remember. What did I forget to remember? I have not forgotten that I am. Maharaj. This I am may also be part of the illusion. Questioner. How can it be? You cannot prove to me that I am not. Even when convinced that I am not, I am. Maharaj. Reality can neither be proved nor disproved. Within the mind, you cannot. Beyond the mind, you need not. In the real, the question, what is real, does not arise. The manifested, saguna, and unmanifested, nirguna, are not different. Questioner. In that case, all is real. Maharaj. I am all. As myself, all is real. Apart from me, nothing is real. Questioner. I do not feel that the world is the result of a mistake. Maharaj. You may say so only after a full investigation, not before. Of course, when you discern and let go of all that is unreal, what remains is real. Questioner. Does anything remain? Maharaj. The real remains, but don't be misled by words. Questioner. Since time immemorial, during innumerable births, I build and improve and beautify my world. It is neither perfect nor unreal. It is a process. Maharaj, you're mistaken. The world has no existence apart from you. At every moment, it is but a reflection of yourself. You create it, you destroy it. Questioner, and build it again, improved. Maharaj, to improve it, you must disprove it. One must die to live. There is no rebirth except through death. Questioner, your universe may be perfect. My personal universe is improving. Maharaj, your personal universe does not exist by itself. It is merely a limited and distorted view of the real. It is not the universe that needs improving, but your way of looking.
And the questioner is obviously a young person. Those of us who are north of 70, north of 75, we cannot say our world is improving anymore. It's falling apart. But I goes nowhere. All right, we'll end here today. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. Hari Om.